studied BTech IT, worked in Infosys and Accenture. Started going to ISKCON temple since 2000. Joined ISKCON Salem and initiated by 2007 by Solness Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj. Then did traveling, college book distribution around Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh. Then served as personal servant for Guru Maharaj on his order. Went to Sri Govardhan for studying Sanskrit under his grace. Gopi Parandara Prabhu, who is Srila Prabhupada disciple, studied there for 3 years. Then preached in Andhra Pradesh. Then came to Madurai for studying MA Sanskrit. Now pursuing PhD in Sanskrit. Got married to a dentist, Grace Ballavi Devi Dasi. Have one baby girl, Meenakshi Narasimha Priya. Served as a temple commander, youth preacher, temple manager. Now doing some small business, incense manufacturing for maintenance, and trying to learn more Shastras and serve devotees. Recently, Prabhu has spoken about Srimad Ramayanam, Sri Mahabharata, Krishna Leela, Dasamakanda, Skanda, Uddhava Gita, Laghu Bhagavatamrita for Bahrain devotees. Planning to speak on in future Sandarbhas, Vishnu Sahasranam, the 4 Sampradayas, Vishnu Puran, essential teachings of 10 Upanishad, and brief description of Vedic literatures. Currently serving under His Grace Balram Govind Prabhu at ISKCON Tirupalai Temple in Madurai, Tamil Nadu. So this is a very brief introduction of Prabhuji, and Prabhuji is every day taking classes through online and through WhatsApp, and through online he is taking every day evening classes. And so we will warmly welcome Prabhu to our Kanyadesh Yatra, and let us all take the nectar from the scriptures through Prabhu. And we will welcome Prabhu by chanting Hare Krishna Maha 3 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Welcome His Grace Vamsidhari Prabhu. You can now take over the class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sarvashastra Piyusha, Sarvavedika Satpala, Sarvasiddhanta Ragnatya, Sarvalokaika Dippada, Sarvabhagavata Prana, Srimad Bhagavata Prabhu, Kalidvando Didaditya, Sri Krishna Parivartita, Paramananda Pathaya, Prema Varsaksharayate, Sarvada Sarvasevyaya, Sri Krishnaya Namostude, Madeka Bando, Matsangin, Madguru, Manvadana, Mannistaraka Madbhagya, Madananda Namostude, Asadu Sadhu Dadayi, Nati Nichota Chakara, Anaunchakada Shrinmam, Premna, Utkantayospuraha, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vikasa Swami Tiname. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tiname. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Devatarini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vanta Pravishavadi Mam Prasuttam Sanjeevyate Kala Shakti Dharasvadamna Anyam Tahasthajanasya Manatvagadin Prana Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam Pantvasman Purubhuta Vairi Balavan Matanga Madhyatkata Umbochat Vipatanathi Kapatu Pratyeka Vajrayitaha Srimad Kantira Vasya Pratasunakara Dharidara Tidura Pradvastatvanta Shanta Pravitamanada Bhavita Puri Bhagayi Janmadisyaton Mayagita Satkaddesh Avijñasvara Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye Mukhyanti Yatsuraya Tejo Varimita Meta Vinimayo Trashargo Mrisha Dhamna Svena Sadanvastaguham Satyam Param Dhimahi Dharma Prodita Gaitavotra Paramorir Matsaranam Satam Vedyam Vastva Mattavasrivadam Tamatrayon Murnam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamunikrite Kimvat Parairishwaraha Satyo Hritya Avritti Kritivihi Susrusha Viskachanat Nidamakalpadaro Kalitam Palam Sukamgat Avritro Hamyutam Pivada Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Muraho Rasikaha Bhuvi Bhavukaha. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpadaro Vescha Kripasintu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. After a long time, this is going to be my English lecture, because usually in Tamil Nadu we don't speak much English classes here. But previously, when I was staying in Salem and also when I was preaching in Andhra Pradesh, there were some English lectures happened. So please bear with our Indian type of English and my grammatical mistakes. For sure, there will be so many. And today we have taken up a big task of Uddhava Gita. And in Uddhava Gita, we are particularly going to speak or discuss about the 24 gurus of avadhuta Brahmana. So this avadhuta Brahmana is originally Dattatreya. So Dattatreya is one of the incarnation of Lord Krishna. He is considered as the 8th avatar of Lord Krishna in Laghu Bhagavatamrita. Rupa Goswami describes he is considered as the 8th avatar of the Lord.
என்னோட கான்செப்ட் என்னன்னா பத்தி கவனம் பண்ணதாவது
Hare Krishna. Okay. So Dattatreya is speaking here, and he is mostly addressed as avadhuta Brahmana. In the end, Acharyas they describe, or even Lord Krishna himself describes, that this avadhuta Brahmana is actually Lord Dattatreya himself. So we know how Dattatreya appeared. He is the son of Atri and Anasuya. I think we should put mute all. Just a second. Okay. So this Uddhava Gita is considered as one of the longest philosophical discussion in Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is Nigama Kalpataror Galitam Phalam, is the essence of all the Vedic literature. And while commenting on Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Madhvacharya says, Bhashyoyam Brahma Sutranam. He says this is the Bhashya, or the natural commentary for Vedanta Sutra. And we know what is Vedanta Sutra. Vedanta Sutra is the essence of, or the condensed form of the Upanishadic teachings. So if someone has to understand what is the purpose of Veda, what are the subject matters are discussed in the Vedas, then they don't have to search full Vedas, and even if they search, they cannot find the full Vedas because they are Anadi and Anantaha. So these are the qualifications or qualities of Veda. They are Anantaha, they are unlimited, they are endless. So if something is endless, how you are going to understand or how you are going to grasp the subject which is endless? So it is a very difficult thing that one has to study full Vedas and try to understand or grasp what is subject matter discussed in Vedas. So that's why Vyasadeva very mercifully has given us this Vedanta Sutra in order to summarize what are the teachings of Vedas. And after giving this Vedanta Sutra, he found people started discussing it in a various way from various point of directions, and again they are misleaded. So he himself writes an commentary for this Vedanta Sutra, and that is called Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam is the natural commentary of Vedanta Sutra, and it is the pramana for Kali Yuga. Usually we have many pramanic literatures in different darshanas, but Jiva Goswami, he says in Tattva Sandarbha, he establishes that in Kali Yuga only Srimad Bhagavatam is considered as the ultimate authority to explain about the Lord, to explain about ourselves, and to explain about the way to lead or to reach that Lord. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we have many discussions, many conversations. If you see full Vedic literature, they are full of conversations. It doesn't happen just by his own speech. When there is a question, then the answer comes. So similarly, in Srimad Bhagavatam, we find many conversations between so many different kinds of devotees. But at the end of Bhagavatam, now Krishna summarizes and he gives whatever he wants to give to these conditioned souls or the living entities, whatever he wants to give the instructions, he's just summarizing everything and giving in the end of Srimad Bhagavad. So in Bhagavad Gita, he has already instructed the Jivatmas through Bhagavad Gita, but whatever is left over in Bhagavad Gita or whatever he has not yet covered in Bhagavad Gita, he's describing here in Uddhava Gita. So this Uddhava Gita has 23 chapters, and now we are giving this. Now we are discussing on this Uddhava Gita in Tamil language. We have around 23 lectures already discussed, but still we are in the 5th chapter, because once if you read, then you understand the depth and the opening up of the philosophies. Because when you read this Uddhava Gita in the beginning, just like a reader, just like reading, then you won't find what are the essential teachings are there. But when you start studying it, diving inside the philosophy with the help of the Acharya's commentaries, then you understand so many things are opening up, so many beautiful things that Krishna is speaking. It's really you can really enjoy. We say we should not enjoy, because ultimately Krishna is the enjoyer. But in this stage, we should have this kind of mental or intellectual kind of enjoyment. It is better than sensual enjoyment. It is like karma mishra bhakti. And then when you come to the level of trying to get things from devotion service for your mind satisfaction, for your intellectual satisfaction, then it is called jnana mishra bhakti. But still we have to go further for pure bhakti. But still it is in a good level. It's not prohibited to enjoy Krishna's teachings. Okay, we don't have much time. We have only 2 days, and we have so many things to cover. So I don't want to get into too much introduction, even though we can. But now we'll go inside the subject directly. So this Uddhava Gita, how it starts? It is in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, when Krishna has decided to leave this planet and go to his own place. So Krishna is thinking like that, and he has already made an arrangement for that. First of all, he made an arrangement so that all the Yadu dynasty will be destroyed and they will go to the Swasthana. And after making this, now Krishna is planning, and Uddhava, he sees this. Uddhava, he understands, and he approaches Krishna and he says, Krishna, I know your heart. I know what you're doing now. Because who can curse Yadavas? Who can curse Yadavas? Because Yadavas are very, very powerful, and no curse will work inside Dwarka. Why? Because when Narada comes inside Dwarka, usually Narada goes around, he preaches around, he doesn't stay in one place, he just goes around. But when he comes inside Dwarka, he just stays there. He just stays months after months, going to this house and that house and going to each house. Wherever he goes, there is only Krishna Lila, Krishna Katha is happening, because it is full of Krishna's palace, 16,108 palace. So he can go to any place, just sit and watch Krishna's activities and hear Krishna Lila. So like that, he used to spend his days in Dwarka months after month. But Narada has a curse that he cannot stay in one place. From Daksha, he got this curse that when he instructed Daksha's sons on ultimate liberation, but that is renunciation, they all took sannyasa, and because of the Daksha was very unhappy with Narada, so he cursed Narada that you will not have a stable place to stay and you will be roaming around like a beggar. He said, that's very good, that's what I need, that's what really I need. So he was very happy and he was roaming around. But when he came inside Dwaraka, this doesn't work, this curse doesn't work, because Dwaraka is protected by Govinda Bhujaguptayam. Srimad Bhagavatam says it is protected by Govinda's Bhuja, Govinda's Lord Krishna's powerful hands. So nothing can enter inside Dwaraka. If Narada's curse will not work, then how this Brahmana's curse will work for Yadavas? Because it is Lord's arrangement to send them back to that place. So it happened like that. So Uddhava, understanding the situation, he approaches and he says, Krishna, for a person who has heard about you even once, for them it is very difficult to give up your association. Even if they have heard you once, or they have seen you once, or they have had any kind of dealings with you even once, for them it is very difficult to give up that relationship. If that is the case, then just see me, how I was. I was always with you. I'm always with you. I don't have a separate house to stay. I don't have a family to live with. I don't have any other attachments in this world except serving you. My only desire is to be always with you and serve you. And wherever you are, I'm always there. And what I'm doing, you just see. What are the clothes I'm wearing? Whatever clothes you left, you just leave it, and I'm wearing the same your old clothes. And whatever you eat, you left over that prasadam I'm eating. So whatever you have given me as a prasadam, or whatever you throw it away, I accept that and I'm using that. So I cannot live without you. I cannot sustain without your relationship. Please take me also with you. Let me also come with you to the spiritual world. Please take me also with you. Like that, he prays to Krishna. And then Krishna starts speaking in the 7th chapter. So this is in 11th canto, chapter 7. Krishna instructs Uddhava. So this is how our Uddhava Gita and this avadhuta brahmana instruction starts. So here Krishna says, Mahabhaga Tatchikirsham evame. Oh, Uddhava, you understood me very properly. Because even when Krishna comes and shows his opulences, many people, they don't understand. But here Krishna says, oh, you understand my motivation properly. You understand my heart very nicely. That's very nice. You understand. Because only devotees can understand Krishna's heart. We don't know what is Krishna's decision. So Krishna says, I have come here for a mission and my mission is finished. I have to go. Maya nishpadyam hi atra devakaryam asheshataha. I came here for a devakarya. I came here to accomplish something for demigods and I have done that. Now I have to go back. I cannot stay here for a long time. So Krishna has no any rules and regulations. He can stay anywhere. But he says that I come here for a specific reason, for a specific mission. I just don't go roam around here and there. So this we learn from Srila Prabhupada and from our devotees also. That in our movement, the mood is like that. Whenever we have some mission or some preaching program, then we move around, then we travel around, then we visit different places. Otherwise, we just don't, go around to different places just for sightseeing. Even when Srila Prabhupada was there in this material world, he was not so much interested to go around to visit places, to visit, this tirtha, that tirtha, this holy place, that holy place. No, he was very particular. Whenever there is a, preaching program or whenever there is some service, then he goes there. Not just he just goes there to enjoy something or to spend some time there. No, he doesn't have that much. He doesn't have that much time, and that is not his mood also. So similarly, we should also develop that kind of mood. Whenever we go, whenever we are planning to go somewhere, we should see whether there is a preaching program, whether there is some mission of Lord, whether there is a mission of my Guru. Then we can go. Otherwise, we just don't roam around, uselessly here and there. Even it may be a yatra, or even it may be some tirtha yatra, or visiting some holy places. What holy places we can visit without devotees association? We can go and see all kinds of material things, but we don't see what is really holy there. Because when there is no devotees association, we don't see it properly. So we should always go along with the devotees as a matter of service. Then we should, then we are very safe. So Krishna says, here my mission is finished. I have to leave. Have to leave means, then Jiva Goswami explains, Krishna, he says, Sa esha jivo vivara prasuta prana goshena guham pravishtaha manomayam sukshma upeti rupam matra swaro varna iti swadishtaha. He says, even though Krishna is not approachable by any kind of senses to non-devotees, but still Krishna very mercifully appeared in this world with his full goshena, with his full Gosha means with his full village, with his full devotees, with his full accompany, friends and with his full ghosha or paraphernalia, we can say. He just appeared in this world and he did so many pastimes which are happening in the spiritual world, which are very difficult for a non-devotee to observe with his naked eye or with his material senses. But still, mercifully, he has done this. Now, what he's doing, he's just preparing to do his aprakata leela. He was doing prakata leela. Now he's preparing himself for aprakata leela. Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. That's the point. When Krishna appeared here in Vrindavan, he just stays there. That is his place. Krishna never disappears. Sorry, never leaves Vrindavan. He just cannot be seen by others, but he stays there. His leelas are continuing. So Krishna is preparing for his aprakata leela. So that is the point here. So he says, he says to Uddhava, Krishna says to Uddhava, when I leave this world, I am tyakta lokaha nashtamangalaha. He says, when I leave this world, then what will happen? Nashtamangalaha. Then there will be no inauspiciousness in this world. Na vastavyam tvaya iha maya tyakta mahitale. You should not live in this place. Krishna says to Uddhava, na vastavyam tvaya, you should not live in this place. Iha maya tyakta mahitale. The place which I left over, the place from where I have gone. So you also should not live there. You should also stay there. So while giving instruction to Uddhava, he is actually speaking to us. He says, this place is not meant for people like you. It is not meant for gentle people, gentlemen. You should leave this place as soon as possible. We should not drag. We should not, make a very great step to stay in this world. Nate vidu swartha gating Vishnu durasaya bhiratnamanina. Prahlad Maharaj says that in this world we make a vrata. Adam, sorry, what is the shloka? I forgot. He says the people in this world, why they cannot get liberation? Because they have the vrata that I will not leave this world. I want to stay in this world. That's why they are staying in this world. Otherwise, nothing can bind Jiva. Because Jivatma is spiritual and matter cannot bind Jivatma. Jivatma binds himself due to his ignorance or due to his forgetfulness of Krishna. He is making his own prison in the form of dreams. Like we hear this example so many times about dreams. So who is making these dreams? We create our own dream, we get entangled in the dream. Similarly, this Jivatma, it is making its own prison, which is not actually there, and it is thinking it is entangled. So this is the most amazing thing in this world. Anyway, so he says, you should not stay in this world. You should leave this place as soon as possible, which I have left this world, so you should also leave this world. Janaha abhadra ruchihi. He says, as soon as the Kali Yuga progresses, what will happen? Janaha abhadra ruchihi. They will have so much inclination, so much desire for sinful activities. This we see in this world. Now, people are not fearful. They are not disgusted to do anything sinful. Now, sinful activity has become like a heroic activity. Now, whomever is doing more sin, they are considered as heroes, or they are considered as the most intelligent people in this world. So people are not ashamed anymore for the sinful activities. They do it very openly, and it is growing more and more. When it is growing more and more, then it becomes very difficult situation for us to leave from this, for us to get separated from this worldview, because everyone sees us very strangely. Then we also prone to do sinful activities, and it is considered very normal. So if sinful activities are considered normal, then we also like to do that. Like previously, at least those who are following very tradition, they won't accept food cooked by others. But nowadays, it becomes just like a normal thing, selling food, eating outside. So we also make so many compromises, eating outside foods, telling that, okay, this we offer to Krishna and we take. So this is sinful activity. This is actually sin. We are eating the sin. We are not eating food. Krishna, that's what Krishna says. So if they don't offer, if they don't cook with devotion and offer with devotion and taken with devotion, then it is only sin. But everyone is doing, so we also tend to do it. Like that, when whole world is soaked in sinful reaction, in sinful activities, then we are dragged helplessly. We cannot help ourselves. That's what Arjuna says. Atakena prayuktoyam papam charati purushaha anichannapi varshneya bhaladiva niyojitaha. Atakena prayuktoyam, by what force? Atakena prayuktoyam papam charati purushaha. People, they commit sinful activities. Anichannapi varshneya, anichan, even though I don't have desire to do that sinful activities, anichannapi varshneya bhaladiva niyojitaha. I am being dragged to do that sinful activity. Why? Then Krishna says, Kama yasha krodha yashaha rajoguna samudbhavaha mahashano mahapatma vidyena vairinam. He says, Arjuna, this is because of Kama and Krodha, which are getting born from Rajoguna. Mahanashinaha, it destroys everything. Mahapatma, it gives you so much sin, so much sinful reaction. Vidyena vairinam. Even though you may be a very good, intelligent person, but it will destroy you. This Kama and Krodha. So Krishna says this Kali Yuga will be full of avadhuta ruchihi. People have will have so much inclination to do this kind of sinful activity. So it's not a best place for you to stay. Just get out of this world as soon as possible. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also says, this world is just like a toilet. So gentleman has no any business in toilet. Just come here, do your work, and get out of this place. Don't try to make this world utopia. Don't try to make this world very pleasant. It won't be pleasant. It will smell bad. It is disgusting. So an intelligent person should utilize his time, understand his purpose, and get out as soon as possible. And to get out, he has to make arrangements. He has to prepare himself how to get out of this world. So that is what all the Shastras are training us. It is just training us how to get out of this world. Art of dying, how to die in such a way that you don't take birth again. So Krishna says, just get out of this world. How to do that? Then he says, Tvam tu sarvam parityajya sneham svajana bandhushu maya avesha manas samyak samadrit vicharasvagham. He says, in the beginning of Uddhava Gita himself, he says to this point, he brings Uddhava to this point of sarvadharman parityajya. So he says, Tvam tu sarvam parityajya. Just similar kind of shloka. Swam tu sarvam parityajya. Just give up everything. Give up all kinds of so-called dharma and adharma in this world. Sneham, swajana bandhushu. All your relatives, swajana, bandhu, just give up their sneha. Give up their attachment. And maya vesha mana samyak. Just concentrate your mind on me alone. Eva samyak. Krishna is very particular. Always says eva. And then samadrik vicharasvagham, having a equal vision, just go around and give this knowledge, distribute this knowledge. So this is Krishna's instruction to Uddhava. He says, first of all, give up everything and then concentrate on me. After that, what you should do? Then you should have equal vision on everyone. When you have equal vision, what you will do? Then you go and preach to people. Then you go around and preach to people. See that they are also jivatmas suffering in this world without Krishna's relationship. And that is what they actually want. So go around and teach them. This is what Krishna is saying. So here Krishna is giving his ultimate instructions. That's what I'm saying. In Vedanta Sutra, Vyasadeva has summarized, and in Bhagavatam, Vyasadeva is giving the summary of Vedanta Sutra, and in this Srimad Bhagavatam, Vyasadeva is giving explanation for the Vedanta Sutra, and in this Uddhava Gita, Krishna is summarizing full Bhagavatam as an essence, and he is presenting this. So Krishna is this is last mode. He is going to leave this world, and before going, he has very important instruction for the living entities, and that is what is Uddhava Gita. Mostly we don't speak from Uddhava Gita because it is almost similar like Bhagavad Gita, but it has more deeper meaning also. So we should get used to it, to read Uddhava Gita and to start speaking from Uddhava Gita also. And many of us Unknowingly, we are speaking from Uddhava Gita only. Many of our philosophies are coming from Uddhava Gita, but unknowingly we have been speaking from this Uddhava Gita. Anyway, so while saying this, Krishna is thinking what he's thinking in his mind. He thinks, you see, I have appeared in this world and I have done so many things for my devotees. And I have done so many things. I have fulfilled the desire of my mother Devaki. I have fulfilled the desire of all kinds of gopas and gopis and brajavasis. I have fulfilled my mother Devaki's desire also by killing Kamsa. And I have, Krishna is saying that I have gone to such an extent that I started fighting for Parijata flower with Indra. And I was serving my son, my guru Sandipani Muni by bringing his son back from Yamapatana. And also, I have gone till Vaikuntha Loka to give my darshan, to have some nice friendly talk with Lord Narayana in Vaikuntha Loka. So like that, when I appear in this world, I have done so many things for so many devotees. I was all the time busy, going here and there, counseling this devotee, speaking to this devotee, blessing this devotee, taking or doing loving exchange with different kinds of devotees, was all the time busy. But I forgotten about one thing, that I never went to Badrikashrama, and there are my few devotees, Paramahamsas are there, and Naranara Rishi, they are waiting also. So they did not get my darshan. And I don't have time also to go there to bless them and to teach them. So what I will do, I will send this Uddhava. So that's why he is saying, you should go. Vichar Swagam. You should go and give this knowledge. So basically he is asking Uddhava to go and deliver this message. He has done this before also. How? When Krishna was in Dwaraka, I think in Mathura, Krishna usually he is mixing with everyone and having very good, sweet relationship with everyone. But sometimes he used to be very morose. Sometimes he used to be just sitting alone and thinking about something. Then Uddhava, he notices and he comes and asks, Krishna, what makes you, feel morose or lonely? Why do you sit like this? I usually observed you. You are always jolly and very happily moving around. But sometimes you sit in a separate place, thinking about something, contemplating about something. What happens? What is in your heart? Then Krishna says, oh Uddhava, what I will say? My devotees, these gopis and brajavasis, they are all suffering there. When I left Vrindavana, when I went inside Akrura's chariot, everybody started crying. And these gopis, especially, they have given up their lajja, they have given up their shyness, and they were pulling the Rath back. They're trying to pull the Rath back to Vrindavan. But I just told them, be patient, I will come back. And just by this word, they are sustaining their life. Otherwise, they don't have any desire to sustain their life without me. But they remember my words that I will come back and I will give them my association. So with this word, they're staying. So I want them to, I want to visit them and I want to talk to them. But I'm afraid if I go there, I won't come back. So somehow or other, I should communicate with them. So why don't you go and give some message about myself and about my situation here? So Uddhava, he goes. So in that, Acharyas, they explain, Uddhava is such a dear devotee and such a close devotee of Krishna that he is carrying Krishna's heart. Krishna is revealing his heart to Uddhava, and he is giving some very secret message to the gopis through Uddhava. He has not done this through any other devotees. Even though Arjuna was there, Arjuna was also considered as the best friend of Krishna. But still, Uddhava was taken even more higher position. That's why this Gita is called Uddhava Gita, not Ramayana Bhagavad Gita. Where he spoke in Kurukshetra is called Bhagavad Gita, not Arjuna Gita, because there Krishna's prominency is brought out. But here, Uddhava's significance has to be brought out. That's why it's called Uddhava Gita, not any other Gita. So to bring the Uddhava's glory outside, it is being named as Uddhava Gita, and some people they call it as Paramahamsa Samhita or Hamsa Gita, like that. There are many names, but Vaishnavas they call as Uddhava Gita. Okay, so now Krishna is saying that you take this message, go to Badrika Ashrama and give this knowledge to Narayana Rishi and the other Paramahamsas there, and by this knowledge, they will be liberated and they will have much more relationship or loving exchange with me. So this is what Krishna's mission. He says, you go and deliver this message to this Rishi. And he says, in this world, there is nothing like good or bad. In this world, everything is bad. Some people, they find this is karma, this akarma, this vikarma, but this is all useless. Because this three comes under three modes of material nature. Karma comes under Rajoguna, and akarma comes under Sattvaguna, and vikarma comes under Tamoguna. So anyway, this comes under these three modes of material nature. So without coming to the goal, the ultimate goal of the human existence, just by following this akarma, vikarma, and karma, there is no any use. There is not much use of it. It is not that we should commit sinful activity, but when you categorize, then you just don't stop there. First of all, we were doing vikarma, and then shastras they explain us how to manage our life. Then we come to the stage of karma. Then slowly we come to the stage of akarma. Then don't stop there. Just try to go above it. Just don't stop in Sattvaguna. He gives a very nice analogy. In this world, like for example, I will just give you my example. We are in Madurai here, and I want to go to Chennai. So what I am doing, I travel from my temple to Madurai airport, and I'm supposed to catch a flight which goes to Chennai. I'm traveling from here to Madurai airport. I am there, but I missed my flight. Now what is the use? Now just see, I'm staying in the airport, Madurai airport, and somebody is staying in temple. So the person who is staying in temple, for him, the Chennai is the same distance like the person who is staying in the Madurai airport to Chennai. So he says, what is the use of going through all this very rules and regulations if you don't attain the ultimate goal of life? Dharma swanishtitah pumsam visvakshena katasuyah na utpadayat yatiratim shrama eva hi kevalam. Dharma swanishtitah pumsam. People, they do their dharma very nicely. Dharma swanishtitah pumsam visvakshena katasuyah na utpadayat yatiratim. But if their dharma, if their so-called dharma, if their so-called religious activities, if their so-called punya doesn't bring them to the level of attachment to hear about Lord, then shrama eva hi kevalam. It is simply useless endeavor. There is no any use. So Krishna is saying that in this world, we see this kind of people, those who make distinction, okay, this is good, this is bad, but actually everything is bad if there is no Krishna. It is like a wet stool and a dry stool. That's what Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says. Sometimes wet stool sees the dry stool and starts laughing. Ha ha ha! You are wet. You are dry. But what is dry and what is wet? Both are stool. Similarly, in this world, what is good, what is bad? If there is no Krishna, then it is bad only. It is bad. If there is no Krishna, then all our pious or impious activities, it's all useless. There is no any meaning. So he says that you should have the sama buddhi, you should see everywhere, everything in me and me in everywhere. So in this way, you can practice renunciation and you can help others and try to bring them to the level of renunciation. So here, the Uddhava Gita is mainly concerned about renunciation. In Bhagavad Gita, it is different thing. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is accelerating Arjuna, inspiring Arjuna to fight. It is more or less like he's inspiring him to do some activities, some karma. But here, Uddhava is a different adhikari. He is not asking him to do some action. He is asking him to renounce everything. He is a different adhikari. So he is teaching him how to get renounced of this world. So in the way of by the way of teaching Uddhava, he is teaching us also how to learn renunciation in this world. Without renunciation, we can never attain Krishna. Renunciation means not just dress, not just by word, not just by accepting some danda, but renunciation means actually to engage everything in the service of the Lord, and to see everything belongs to Lord, and to offer our mind, words, and body in the service of the Lord. That is real renunciation. So this is what here he is trying to instruct Uddhava. And Uddhava says, when Krishna says you should take up this renunciation and go and preach all this knowledge in the Badrikashrama, then Uddhava says, Tyaga ayam dushkaraha vishayatmabihi. Uddhava says, these two things are very difficult, Krishna, for me. What he says? Tyaga, that is renunciation, and Vishaya. Vishaya means sense gratification. These two things looks very difficult for me to give up. If I have this, if I cannot, come out of these two things, then how I'm going to get renunciation? How I'm going to get completely engaged in your service? So please instruct me how to do this. Krishna is not just giving some instruction, not just giving some orders. Along with the orders, he is giving mercy also. That's why we say in devotion service, we don't do any service on our own. We get orders from higher authorities. When we get orders from higher authorities, then we get mercy also to do that service in a proper way. Otherwise, if we start doing ourselves something because we know it better, or we like it, or we want to just show up that we know this better, then that service won't satisfy anyone. That service won't satisfy Krishna and won't satisfy you also. So that's why in devotion service, we should always see what devotees are ordering us to do. There is a needful, and there is a ishta, what I like and what is needful. So here Krishna is asking Uddhava to take up this renunciation and start giving this knowledge around. So now Uddhava is asking how to do that. I don't have strength to do that. Still I am engaged in sense gratification, and I cannot give up this worldly association. But Uddhava is very capable person. Uddhava is almost equal to Krishna. In his appearance also, if you see Uddhava, he just looks like Krishna because of too much of meditation on Krishna. He uses everything used by Krishna, and he always meditates on Krishna. He is engaged completely in serving Krishna. So his whole bodily appearance, changed like a Krishna. When Uddhava approached Vrindavana, then all the Brajavasis, when they saw Uddhava first, they thought it is Krishna because he is wearing Krishna's yellow color garment, and his body becomes, his body looks like blue in color like Krishna. And almost while meditating on Krishna, his face also, somewhat resembles like Krishna. This we can also experience in this world. When we have too much of meditation on something, their face changes. Like, for example, husband and wife. If you see husband and wife, sometimes you can see they look like each other. They look like each other. They look similar to each other because of too much of meditation. And I have seen few places that sometimes the dog owners look like the dog owner's face look like the dog's face also, because of too much of association and too much of contemplation about the dog. Their face also resembles like that kind of dog. Sometimes we can observe this world. That's what this avadhuta brahmana speech is full of observation. So we'll go into that subject. So he says, please instruct me how to do that. I don't know how to do that. So please instruct me how to carry out this order. That I am surrendering unto you. So please instruct me on this order. That's what here Uddhava says. Then Krishna starts speaking from 19th shloka. In 11th chapter, from 19th shloka, he says, he starts speaking about this avadhuta brahmana's charitra. He says, Prayena manushya loke loka tattva vichakshanaha samudhrati hi atmanam atmanaiva shubha asayet. He says, usually in general, he did not go directly, inside quoting various verses. He says, Prayena manujja loke lokatattva vichakshanaha samudharati atmanam atmanaiva hi subha ashayet. He says, usually people in this world, just by this general observation, they can understand how miserable is this world, and just by observing the miserable condition of this world, people they can take up renunciation. People they can come out of sense gratification, but just by general observation. They don't need any other guru. That's what here Krishna is saying. But it has many very various meanings. We cannot understand anything without guru. But even before approaching a guru, a sadhaka should have a common sense, should have a basic knowledge about this world. That's why Srila Prabhupada says Krishna consciousness is common sense. It is not something very new. It is common sense. Just observe this world. Observe this world. Even if by observing this world, you will understand so many things. So even before approaching a guru, we have two kinds of observation. One is direct observation, one is indirect observation. The direct observation is by our personal experience. And indirect observation is when we hear from someone, oh, this happened like that happened like that. Oh, like that, huh? Okay, now I understand. Like that. We get this knowledge. Not even we have approached a guru, but just from this world, by observing the things which are happening around us, we come to know so many things. That's why we say be conscious. We say Krishna conscious. If we are conscious of something, then definitely we are going to learn so many things in this world. But the problem is we are not conscious of anything. We are like zombies in this world. That's what Shastra says. We are like living in a dream world, assuming some mentally concocted forms and names and designations and problems. We're just living in our own imaginary world, not seeing what is happening around us. So we should be conscious of what is happening around us. If we are conscious of what is happening around us, then we will be easily Krishna conscious. Because whenever you see around ourselves, then we can see that there's so many amazing things happening around us, and without Krishna's help, it cannot happen. So that's what Krishna says. First of all, a person, he observes this world, he sees this world, and from this world he learns so many things. Now to increase his understanding, now to channelize his understanding, he approaches a guru. It's not that he just approached a guru without any knowledge. That's what also that's we also say, Tad vijnanartham sa guru me avabhigachet samitpanihi shotriyam brahmanishtam. When somebody is inquisitive, to know something, then he approaches a guru. That's why Vedanta Sutra said, Atado Brahma Jignasa. Brahma Jignasa, first you should have Jignasa. First we should have inquisitiveness. Inquisitiveness is a sign of intelligence. When we are not inquisitive to know about something, then we will never understand. Even if Guru is speaking to us, we will never understand. What is the use of hearing answers if you don't have a question? If you don't have a question, what is the use of simply hearing the answers? You don't have the question itself. You don't have the interest to hear itself. Then what is the use of speaking to you? So that's why Shastra doesn't speak. Shastra, even if it speaks in a very complicated language, so that the person who is reading, he will ask questions. The Shastras are made in such a way that it won't explain everything very directly. It explains very in an indirect way, so that the person who is reading, he will come up with some questions. When he asks questions, then he gets answered. That's why Shastra is full of question and answers. When you ask questions, then you get answer. Without question, there is no answer and there is no understanding. So he says, Krishna says, just by observing this world, then you will understand so many things. So after analyzing this, then you approach a guru. Then you ask from the guru. Then guru will explain to you. This is the process. So that's the whole idea of whole idea of education. Education means just to give a inquisitiveness in the brain of the child, how everything is happening, who is doing, who is behind everything, why it is happening. So that's why whenever we give lecture or whenever we read any shastras, in the beginning itself you will find about the details of creation, about how Lord is maintaining everything. So this brings an inquisitiveness in the hearer. When he's more inquisitive, yes, I want to know, I want to hear, I want to learn more about things, then Shastra speaks up, then Shastra opens up. If you don't search, then there is no opening up of Shastra. Even Guru also, when you don't have this inquisitiveness, he won't speak much. He will just smile, he will just say, Hare Krishna, everything is good, and he will go. When you are interested, when you show your interest to know more, to do more, to serve Krishna more, then Guru starts instructing you. Otherwise, it doesn't happen. Otherwise, there are so many initiated, but even in Srila Prabhupada's life history, we see there were so many god brothers of Srila Prabhupada. But who can accomplish when Prabhupada was inquisitive, and when he was, that is one of his qualification. That's what Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says. He likes to hear more. He wants to know more. He wants to learn more about Krishna. So this inquisitiveness we should have. This is very helpful. Not just hearing. After hearing, we should contemplate. Shravanam, then mananam, then nididhyasanam. Then try to understand and try to bring it in a practical life. If there is no practical life, then there is no use also, just by hearing. When you hear nicely, then you will practice nicely. When there is no proper hearing, then there is no proper application also. So that's a whole problem. We don't hear properly, and then we don't apply it properly also. And we don't hear from a proper person, because when you hear from a proper person, then the mercy also comes along with the proper person from the instruction. Then we tend to do it. We can do it. So here Krishna is saying that you can observe and you can learn so many things from this world. And he says, among the different creatures we see in this world, there are creatures with 1 leg, 2 leg, 3 leg, 4 leg, multi-leg. For me, humans are the better. Krishna says, in my opinion, humans are considered as better. Why? Because in human life, they have the chance to understand. They have the chance to understand about me, about this world, and about the way to get out of this world. Atramam mrigayati adha yukta hetuvir ishwaram grihyamane gunair lingam akrihyam anu atmanaha. He says, I'm never captured by any kind of senses. Ata Shri Krishna amadi na bhavet grahim indriyai sevan mukhehi jigvada swayam eva spuratyadaha. Krishna, he cannot be understood. He cannot be observed by any of these material senses, he says. But still, in human form of life, using his intelligence and using his other sensory perceptions, and by approaching a proper guru, he can understand. When we say Krishna cannot be understood by our senses, still we hear this and we understand this, correct? We hear that we cannot understand Krishna using our material senses. How do you know? By hearing, correct? So still we use our hearing. Still we are using our material senses to understand about Krishna. So I'm not going for that kind of discussion now, because that is also a deep discussion in Uddhava Gita, where he is discussing about how one can perceive Krishna through his senses or through Vedic literature, even though he is unperceivable or unidentifiable by Vedic literature, anirvachaniya. He cannot be explainable by any kind of words or any kind of language. Still Krishna is explaining how to do that. So he says, this human form of life is very, very desirable by me, because in this human form of life, one can understand the purpose of life, and one can understand me also. So you have asked me about how to practice this renunciation. So I will now narrate a story which happened very long ago between King Yadu and avadhuta brahmana. So by hearing this, you will definitely understand what does it mean, this renunciation, and how to practice this. So now Krishna is going to narrate a story of narrate a story between which happened between Yadu and King Yadu and avadhuta Brahmana. So this is very interesting topic, and it has 24 elements. Like in this world, we have 24 elements. So Krishna is explaining through 24 elements how to practice renunciation. So this is what Kapila Deva also does. Usually in Sankhya philosophy, what we do, in Sankhya means numbers. So what they do, they just break up everything. This whole material creation, they just break up into 24 elements, and they show, okay, so these are the things which are happening, which are in this world. So what are you going to enjoy in this world? So this is what you have in this world. So where do you find, really very attractive or very beautiful thing in this world? Like when we dissect, we dissect this body in postmortem, and we keep all the parts, and we say, you see, this body is just full of this part, and which part of this body you like? Definitely will understand, this is so disgusting. Actually, there is no attraction in this body. This body is just a bag of urine, bone and stool, and it has no any enjoyable thing. The only enjoyable thing is Atma. Until the Atma is there, there is some kind of happiness, some kind of attraction, some kind of rasa is happening. Why? Because Paramatma is also with us. When they leave, then there is no use of this body. Similarly, the Sankhya philosophy, what they will do, they will just dissect everything, the padarthas in this world, and they will show us, okay, so this is what you have in this world. Now, which things are attracting you, or which things are making you happy, or which things are enchanting to you, and which things are you do you think very worthful? Please see yourself. So this is how Sankhya philosophy they teach their viewers or their customers how to get renounced from this world. So this Kapila Sankhya philosophy. So Krishna is also now showing by 24 examples, how to get renounced, or how to learn what are the characteristics of a person who is renounced, how he will behave, and what are his activities. So that's what the full theme of this avadhuta Brahmana's conversation on this Uddhava Gita. So he says, now Yadu Maharaja, he's in a forest, and he sees a Brahmana. And after seeing a Brahmana, this avadhuta Brahmana, he's very astonished. And he's asking these following questions. Kuto buddhi imam brahman akruto suvisharadaha yam ashadya bhavan lokam vidam charati bhalavat. Oh Brahmana, you are just roaming around this world without any fear, without any anxiety, without any problem, like a balavat, like a small child. But you look like an intelligent person. Buddhi imam, kuto buddhi. You are not a mad person. You are not a foolish person. You are a very intelligent person. But still, you are roaming around like a small child. Prayo dharmartha kameshu vivitsayam cha manavaha hetu naiva samahita ayusho yashashashriyaha. He says, usually in this world, people are not like you. You don't know how people are outside. Usually what people are doing, dharma artha kameshu. People are after these three things. Dharma artha kama, not even moksha. So people are very busy doing their dharma artha kama. Why? Hetunaiva samihante ayusho yashashastriyaha. Why they are doing this dharma artha kama? To increase their ego, yashasha, to increase their fame, and shriya, to increase their sense gratification. Even though they don't bring him happiness, even though this material endeavor doesn't bring him any kind of satisfaction, still just to boost themselves, they are engaged in so many kinds of activities. This is the truth. If we want to, do our work just for sustenance, we won't work so much. Just to fill up our belly, just to have small saving, we won't run too much. We won't be hankering, we won't be lamenting too much behind this material sense gratification or behind these material activities, modes of nature. But just to gratify our ego, I am big person in the society, I have so much wealth, I am so important in this society. Just to boost up our ego, we are ready to accept any kind of problems, any kind of burden. That's why Shastra says we are like an ass, we are like a donkey. Why? Because donkey can eat grass anywhere, but still it is thinking, that by taking this much load, I will show my strength, I will show my vigor. So that's what is happening in this world. Usually it is not the case. Usually it is not the case. Just see some 200 years before how people were living. People are living very simple life. They were not after so much after to show their egoistic view. Like a simple example we can take. Like in Madurai, it was ruled by many kings. Thousands of kings have ruled Madurai. But if you see the largest building, the huge building in Madurai is Sri Meenakshi temple and Alagar temple. If kings were living here, we should find so many huge palaces here, but we don't find huge palaces. We find only one huge palace, that is Meenakshi temple. That means the kings, even though they were kings, they never considered about their own prosperity. They were thinking how Lord should be served. They were giving so much importance for Lord, and they themselves, they had a very normal, simple kind of life. Even though they were having so much wealth, but still they were not using for their own sense gratification. They were using it for Lord service only. That was the case. But nowadays it is completely different. Nowadays people are running after so many things just to boost up their ego and to increase their wealth, which they are not going to enjoy anyway. They're just busy after searching and accumulating, and when they are going to enjoy, they just, sometimes the wealth goes or sometimes they leave the wealth. So what is the use? What is the use of all your endeavor? But he says, oh, you don't look like that. You look very different from this girl. And he says, Tvam tu kalpa kavir daksha subhago amrita bhashanaha nakarta neha kinchit jadonmatta pishashavat. He says, even though you are roaming around without any work and you are not interested in dharma, artha, kama, but looks like you are very qualified. Sometimes people may say, oh, who will take up spiritual life? One who cannot do anything, one who has no any capability, one who is useless, one who is unsuccessful in material life, only they will take up full-time spiritual life. If we are capable, then we should be working. If you are incapable, if you are lame, if you are lazy, if you are useless, if you cannot do anything, then you will take spiritual life, full-time spiritual life. Otherwise, for capable person, we should do something better. We should do something in this world. Just don't go, spiritual. Yeah, spiritual life should be there, but we should do something. What should we do? What should we do? He says, you are looking like Kabir. You are very intelligent and daksha, very expert, subhaga. Your body, is subhaga. It is very healthier. You are not looking very weak. You look very healthy. And it happens with devotees, especially with devotees. We see them, they are very healthy. And they eat 3 times a day with ghee prasadam. Who can take this? Outside people, those who are working outside, very hard, they don't have time to eat. They don't have proper food, proper healthier food to eat. And if you see them, they are very weak. But if you see devotees, apparently may look like they're not working outside, like 8 hours, 12 hours, but still they are working for Krishna more than that. But they look more healthier, more blissful, more happy. So he says, you look very strong enough. And amrita bhashanaha, and you speak very nicely. Even though the brahmana has not yet opened his mouth, but still by looking at him, the Yadu Maharaj, he says, oh, you speak very nicely also. You speak very nicely. Means he is going to speak nicely. That's what he is assuming. And nakarta neha kinchit jadonmata pishashavat. But you look like, jada unmata. Jada unmata. Unmata means mad person. Jada unmata. Like a dumb, deaf, and mad. And pishashavat. Pishashavat means, and your appearance looks like hunted by ghost. So all this different kinds of futures are, present in that avadhuta brahmana. So janeshu dakhyamaneshu kamalobha dhavagnina na tapasa agnina mukto gangabhyaha stava iva dipaha. And he says, because of this too much engagement in this material world for dharma, artha and kama, people are just getting burned everywhere. He says, janeshu dakhyamaneshu, people are just burning in this material fire of existence. Samsara dhava dhanalita loka, we say. And also Prahlad Maharaj says in Narasimhadev prayers, he says, Shokagnina sakala yonishu dakhyamanaha, he says, Esmat priya apriya viyoga sayoga janma shokagnina sakala yonishu dakhyamanaha. Yes, everyone in this world, they are burning by this shokagni. Why? Because they are getting engaged in this material world and they just get burned. But he says, but this Yadu Maharaj says, but you don't look like that. We are all burning here in this material world. And what you are doing? You are just standing in Ganga, in the middle of Ganga river, in the cool water, and looking at us. And you look very peaceful. You look very happy. So this same kind of situation happened in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, in the first canto. The first canto, if you see so many this rishis, thousands of rishis, they started doing yajna. And after the yajna, after hundreds of years of the yajna, they could not find any satisfaction. All their body, become black due to this so much smoke, and they don't find any satisfaction. And they were thinking what to do. And they saw a Vaishnava who was sitting very peacefully, very composed, very content, very thoughtful, very deep and grave. And all these sages, they approached and they all did Dandavat Pranam to that sage. He's Sutta Goswami. He's from Sutta family. And this Brahmana and these sages are from Brahmana family. So usually Brahmanas, they don't worship anyone, but he's a devotee. So everyone they did Dandavat Pranam and they asked the same question. Purini Bhuri Karmani Shotavyani Vivagachaha Sadho Atyatra Saram Samuddichya Manishaya. They say, oh, we have been doing this yajna for hundreds of years, but we don't find any satisfaction in our heart. But you look very peaceful, very, very composed, very content, very happy, very satisfied. How is that possible? Please instruct us. Please instruct that knowledge also to us. We would like to know that knowledge. Then he starts speaking Bhagavad. So here also in the similar kind of situation, Yadu Maharaj is saying, we are all burning in this material world, behind this dharma, artha and kama. But you look very happy, very satisfied. How to do that? Please instruct me. So a similar kind of thing happened in Srila Prabhupada life also, that a businessman comes and then he says, oh Swamiji, I have this business, that business, I have this share, that share, I have this company, that company, I have so many things, but ultimately no happiness. But you people are simply sitting, in temple and doing bhajans, but you people are very happy, very, composed, very healthy. How is that, Swamiji? What I should do to get like you, to be like you? Then Prabhupada says, whatever company you have mentioned, just give it to me. We will take care of the company. You come to temple, join us, and you'll be happy. Then that businessman, he just runs away. Oh, okay, Swami, it's okay. I will take care of him. So that's the thing. We know this material world is suffering, but still, Janiya, Shuniya, Bishakaino. Knowingly, we are drinking poison. We know this material world is full of unhappiness, full of problems, but knowingly what to do? We are just drinking this poison without any alternative. But we have alternative. Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtana. When you have Golokera Premadana, that is the Amrita from Goloka Vrindavan, that is Lord's name, why not to take them? Why to drink this poison of this material modes of nature? So that's what he says. And he says, Tomhina Prichattam Brahman Atmana Ananda Karanam Bruhi Sparsha Vihinasya Bhavatehe Kevalatmanaha. Please instruct me about your knowledge, about your cause for this happiness. I would like to know. Please tell me. After hearing this, the Brahmana became very happy. Then Brahmana started saying, he says, oh king, the king addressed him, oh Guru, you are my Guru, please instruct me, please tell me, how to be like you, how to be happy like you, oh my dear Guru. Then avadhuta brahmana says, oh, what did you say? Me as guru? No, I'm not a guru. I have so many other gurus. Santi me guru or rajan bahavaha. I'm not a guru, I'm just a disciple. And this whole world is my guru. I'm learning from everything. That should be the mood. We should never have this mood of I know everything, I am the guru, I can teach. No. If you have this mentality, then your knowledge stops, then your learning stops, then you are already in ignorance. So he says, actually, I'm not a guru. I'm just a disciple. I'm just learning so many things from this world. And for your information, Rajan, for your information, Yadu, I have learned 24 things from 24 elements from this world. Please hear from me what I have learned, and I will instruct you about it. Prithvi Vayurakasham Apo Agnischandramaha Ravihi Kapato Ajagra Sindhu Patango Madhukrutgajaha Madhuha Harino Munaha Munihi Pingala Kururo Arbakaha Kumari Sarakrit Sarpo Urnanabihi Shushopakrit Ete me Guravo Rajan Chaturvimshatir Architaha Siksha Vrittibir Etesham Anavasiksham Ihatmanaha. I think there will be no any stories here. I think there is only one story at the end of this chapter, at the end of the 7th chapter. So don't get bored, because now we are in the end of Srimad Bhagavatam. From the beginning till 10th canto, we have so many stories, just story after story, story after story. In 11th canto, we are supposed to be, we are presumed to be well accompanied with hearing philosophies. Here also we cannot expect stories. Here Krishna is instructing, and this is full of philosophical things. But in the beginning, he starts very light with this 24 gurus instruction. Krishna starts very lightly this Uddhava Gita. When you go more deeper, you'll have more deeper understanding, you'll have more deeper philosophies. But this 24 Guru Tattva is very simple. Very simple. So he says, I have 24 gurus. What are they? 24 gurus. Oh my God. Okay. What are they? He says, earth, air, water, sky, fire, this Panchabhuta, and then moon, sun, pigeon, python, sea, and then deer, fish, pingala, prostitute, kururava, bird, and one child. And then we have engel, arrow maker, serpent, spider, wasp, moth, honeybee, elephant, and honey thief. So these are my 24 gurus. Now we'll start explaining to you one by one. Please hear. That's what that avadhuta brahmana says. Now he starts explaining. So already we are in 1:15. So shall I continue? At least we should go to some extent. Otherwise, tomorrow we won't be able to finish 24. And how much?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Manibhushan Prabhu. Everybody is okay? Another 15 minutes. Anybody asks?
Okay, Guruji. Okay.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Okay, you can go ahead. Okay.
How long can I go? Go ahead.
Manibhushan Prabhu, any other program is arranged?
No, Prabhuji, no, Prabhuji. No, there is no other program. If the people are ready, you can continue.
Okay, I'll just go for 20 minutes. Maybe 20 minutes I will go. I will try to cover fast, because sorry, this is a long subject and I have to squeeze everything in a short period of time. So in a given time, I cannot.
No problem. Please go ahead, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
And whatever we heard, and that is our benefit. That is our beneficial. So like Samudra Snana, when we go inside the ocean to take bath, we don't go from this side of Samudra to that side of Samudra. We can go Yatha Shakti, we can go take bath, dip, and come back. So similarly, when we understand Shastra and we study Shastra, to our Yatha Shakti, we go, we hear, we study, and we start applying. That is our benefit. That is our real benefit. So first of all, he starts with earth. Akramyamanaha Dhaiva Vasha. He says, from this earth, I have learned two things. From this earth, I have learned two things. What is that? Dhiraha na acharat marghat. So this earth, if you see, the main quality of earth is dhira. We say dhara. Dhara means to able to tolerate everything. Earth is tolerating everything. Whatever people they do, earth is just tolerating. And the first example is drilling the earth and pulling out the oil, which is happening, and it's just tolerating. And sometimes people they do puja to earth, and sometimes they dig, they pass urine, they pass stool, they pass blood, they do all kinds of nonsense things on the earth. But earth just it just accepts. It is not. It is very sober. Dhira means sober. It's not disturbed. Why? Akramyamanaha daivavasha. Because a sadhu, in the similar way, should see or should accept whatever disturbances which are caused by others. He should say it is daivavasha. It is happening because of Lord's arrangement. When somebody is giving me trouble, actually he is not troubling me. It is my karma. He is just acting as an instrument. I am supposed to suffer for this karma, and he is just an instrument to give the suffering. Actually, he is not the cause of suffering. My karma is the cause of suffering. So in this way, the sadhu, what he should do, he should just try to tolerate. He should try to tolerate the thing, and he should not be disturbed by these disturbances. Na achalat margat. In this spiritual progress, when he's doing his devotion service, whatever problem comes, he should see these are all Lord's arrangement, and he should not be disturbed, he should not be discouraged, he should just continue with his devotion service. When the problem comes, he should double his devotion service. He should not go down. He should do in a more vigorous way. That's what Bhagavatam says. Tivrena bhakti yogena. We should do tivra bhakti. We should do very rigorous kind of devotion. We should not blow away. So this I have learned from earth. And from earth, there are two things which are coming up. One is tree, and other one is mountain. So from mountain and tree, I have learned two more things. What is it? From mountain, I have learned how to benefit others always. The mountain, it is just staying there, and what it is doing, it is growing different kinds of herbs, plants, trees, and forests, and so many rivers are flowing away, and so many waterfalls are there. So it is just living for others' benefit. Similarly, our life should be meant for benefiting others. It should not be always how I and me. We are always in this kripana kind of consciousness. I and me. Aham mameti. So if you just come out of this kripana kind of consciousness, then you are called brahmana. Means you are working for the society. You are working for the upliftment of the society. Then you are called brahmana. So a broad mind, not just your family. This whole world is your family. Vasudeva Kudumbakam. But people in general, what they think, if you can work hard and maintain your family, then you are daksha, then you are very expert. If you are just doing social service, or if you are just not social service, or if you are doing something spiritual, then you are useless. We are not after social service. Here Krishna is not speaking about social service. Here is speaking about how to benefit others by taking up this devotion service. So just doing our devotion service itself, it's a huge benefit for this whole world. We don't have to do anything separately for benefiting this world. The Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says the sadhaka, the kanishta adhikari sadhaka, he is ringing his bell in the pujari room. It cannot be equaled to hundreds and millions of Ashwamedha yajna, he says. So even if one can perform hundreds of Ashwamedha yajna, it cannot be compared to a Kanishta Adhikari Bhakta who is ringing his bell in front of Lord. So this benefit is the highest benefit. So just by staying as a devotee, we are benefiting this world. Even though sometimes we cannot preach, sometimes we cannot do anything, but just becoming devotee itself, it's enough. It can deliver whole family, like Prahlad Maharaj. He was doing devotion service, and because of his devotion service, his 21 generation got liberated. So that is the real benefit. That is the real benefit what we can do for this whole world. That we can learn from mountain. Shashvat Parvartaha. So from this mountain, I learned this to benefit others. And also from tree, I learned again the same thing. Tree, what it does, it is just giving shelter for all kinds of people. Tree doesn't say, oh, you should not come in my shade, you should go away, you should not come, you should not come. No, the tree spreads around. So because of this spreading nature, what happens? Many people, they come under the shade. It is giving the shade. Similarly, a sadhu, what he does, he gives shelter for all kinds of people and slowly bringing them to the level of devotion service. He doesn't reject, even though the Kanishta, the Madhyamadhikari is advised to reject the envious people, but sometimes devotees are more compassionate, more merciful. They go and they try to change them also. So devotees are all accommodating and trying to bring them to the level of devotional service. They don't reject anyone. And in the name of accommodating anyone, they don't compromise their philosophy also. They give their philosophy, but they slowly bring them to the level. And also tree, what it does, it is also living for the benefit of others. It is also tolerating. And once in Kalidasa, in his Shakuntala Vrittanta, he says that the one king, a poet came and he was praising king, that you are like a tree, you are benefiting others, you are very patient. Usually we hear, we should be like a tree, we should be like a tree. And then the other poet comes, he says, oh, living like a tree, it's not very glorious. It is nothing. It's not something very special. Why? Because tree has to be in the sun. The king was glorified. Oh, you are like a tree, standing in the sun, standing in the rain, and benefiting others without any expectation. So the poet says, it's not something very special, because tree has to be in the sun. For example, you consider, you are thinking, okay, tree is suffering from sunshine. So let us make a building, let us make a shade around the tree. So you cover the tree with full of concrete bricks. What will happen? Tree will die. Tree cannot sustain. Tree has to be in the sunshine. Similarly, you are a king. So king means you should be like this. This is your duty. You should accommodate others. You should give shelter to others. You should live for the benefit of others. That is the whole point of being a king. Don't be too much proud that you are helping others, you are giving shelter to others. That is your duty, that is your swarupa. So you don't be too much proud of your position. So this is just small side point. So in that way, I learned from earth. I learned three things. One is dhiratvam, nachalatvam, and pararthatvam, means to help others. So these three things I learned from this earth. And from wind, second thing, he comes wind. From wind, I have learned so many other things. What is it? Prana vittaya e santushta na indriya priyaha. This prana, this wind, if you see, actually here he speaks about prana, and wind is an external manifestation of prana. So this wind, this prana, what it does, it moves around this body just to sustain this body. It is not like a sense. It's not like the other senses. Help in wanting to enjoy the sense gratification. No, wind doesn't do that. Even though without wind, even though without this prana, this body is useless. But this prana never hankers for sense gratification. It just moves around just to sustain this body. Similarly, what we should do as a sadhus, we should sustain just for sustenance. We should use the senses, not to gratify the senses. We should work. We should do our, we should also, try to satisfy the senses, means try to feed the senses, but not for sense gratification, just to maintain this body. Just to maintain this body, we should do all this thing. So that's why Krishna also says, Yuktahara viharascha, that in the name of maintaining senses, we should not be too much attached and we should not be too much detached. Then both the things are problem. We should have a balanced way of life, and in the balanced way of life, we should have this desire to maintain this body, not to gratify this body. This I have learned from this prana. And he says, this wind, even though it is surrounded by many good and bad objects, like wind, breeze, is blowing, wind is blowing, and it goes inside a nice forest where many other where many beautiful flowers are there. So it carries beautiful smell. And the same wind, when it goes inside some nasty place, it carries all kind of bad aroma. But in its original nature, wind doesn't have any smell. Wind is just carrying good and bad aroma, and then it just leaves after some time. So in the similar way, a sadhu, he may be under different situations, good situation, bad situation, but he should never get entangled in that situation. We have many kind of situations, we enter inside many kind of situations, this good situation, that good situation, this price, that pricing, this mocking. Sometimes people they price, sometimes they mock, what we can do. So we should not be attached for this. And also, we get glories, sometimes we don't get glories, we get bad name also. So what we can do? We cannot do anything. So in the similar way, like a wind, we should not be attached with good and bad situations in this world. We should just be situated in our own self, that is Krishna consciousness, and we should just go on with our Krishna conscious activities. And also this wind, it goes inside dark areas, it goes inside forbidden areas without any fear. Similarly, for a Krishna conscious person, he has no fear. He can travel anywhere, he can preach anywhere, and that's what we see from Srila Prabhupada. He can go anywhere, but still not get entangled, not get soaked in the modes of material nature. Usually, when we are too much when we have too much association with some modes, then we naturally develop that kind of desire. Dhyayato vishayantum saha sangastesu upajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha. Krishna says, by meditating on a sense object for a long amount of time, then we develop desire to gain that or to enjoy it. So what devotee does, he just goes as a matter of duty, does his duty and comes back. He doesn't carry anything, he doesn't get entangled, he doesn't acquire that quality. So like that wind we should have. Na visajjate vayuvat. He says we should know the art of moving throughout the world without attachment. We should move around the world. We should speak to people, in a nice way, but don't get attached. It is not that we should speak in a very rough way. No, we should speak in a very nice way, and we should have that with full heart. We should speak. It is not that with in our heart something and then we speak something. No, with full heart we should speak, and also at the same time we should not be entangled with that person. We should know our limit. Why we are here? We are here to present our thing, and we just go. We don't get too much attached with the people. This is what I learned from wind. And third thing he says, akasha, from sky. From akasha, what I have learned, this akasha is like a big family. The sky is a big family. In that family, there are innumerable stars, moon, sun. Everything is staying under the shelter of sky. But sky never stays under anybody's shelter. Sky is giving shelter for everyone. Sky can stay without all this shelter, without all these stars, moon, and everything. But this star, moon, and these things cannot stay without sky. In a similar way, we should be always in the place of giving shelter to others. We should not be staying under the shelter of anyone. If we have to stay under the shelter of anyone, it should be Krishna only. We should not stay under anybody's shelter. That is the whole point. Our only shelter is Krishna. We should keep our life in such a way that our only shelter is Krishna. Rakshishyati iti vishwasaha. He is our only shelter. If we consider others as our shelter, then slowly we will lose our identity. So that's why acharyas, they always want, even though they were all shaktas, even though they had abilities, they were always seeking for the shelter of the Lord. We see this from his studies from Ramayana, Mahabharata, even from Ramayana, Vishwamitra. He was very powerful, very very able rishi to kill any kind of rakshasas. Even for that matter, he gives this mantra to Rama Lakshmana to kill Tataka, but he can do himself. He did not do that. Why? He doesn't want to do that. for his protection, he doesn't want to do that. But for the protection of dharma and for the protection of other rishis, he is ready to do that. So he has this ability, but still he always keeps himself under the shelter of Lord. He never uses his abilities to protect himself. He is always staying under the protection of Lord. So this is what from the sky, and sky is all pervading. Sky pervades everywhere, and it is just resting, in one place, and within the sky, everything is staying. So we hear from the Lord that Lord is Achalavat. Lord is Lord or Brahman. We can say Brahman is Stiraha. He doesn't move, and he's all pervading. He's all pervading, and also at the same time he doesn't move. How to understand this? What does it mean? He doesn't move and all pervading. Means, you see, now I'm sitting in this place, and this place like a 4x4 measurement. Now in this 4x4 measurement, I cannot make any movement. I cannot move anywhere. Because I'm fully occupied this place. I have fully occupied this place. I'm occupied. I'm fully pervading in this place. I cannot move anywhere. In the similar way, the Lord is all pervading. He's everywhere. He's by his energy. He's everywhere. So where he can move, he is within him. Everything is there. Nothing is beyond him. So that's what Achalavat. He doesn't move. He's all pervading. In the similar way, in this whole body also, the soul is pervading everywhere. Soul is pervading everywhere. It doesn't move also. This is what I learned from this sky. And then he goes for water. I will just finish with this Panchabhuta till fire. I will finish this, and then from next day we can continue more. So from water, what I have learned from water, I have learned many qualities. One is Swachha. Swachha means clean. And second one is Snigdha. Snigdha means soft. And third one is Madhurya. Madhurya means sweet. And fourth one is Tirtha Bhuhu, which purifies. So from this water, I have learned these four qualities. What is it? The first quality is Swachhata, cleanliness. A sadhu is very clean. It's supposed to be clean. Whatever we are, whatever we want to clean in this world, we use water only. In any form, we use only water. So in a similar way, the sadhu, he should be very clean in his behavior, in his all kinds of activities. He's clean, and also soft, snigdha. He should not be like very fearful. If somebody, nobody should have fear on us, and if we also see nobody, we should also have no fear on anyone. That is a real qualification of sadhu. By seeing a sadhu, nobody should get fearfulness, and we also should be not fearful of any situation. There's a shloka in Bhagavad Gita. Anyway, now I don't have time. So like that, a sadhu is snigdha, very cool, like cool, composed. He's not too much agitated. We see Srila Prabhupada, he's very cool. He's very cool, very, very calm, very cool, like water. Sometimes when you go on the river and see water is just flowing, and your mind just flowing with the water becomes very pacific. Similarly, when you see a sadhu, your mind becomes automatically pacific. Even though we have so many difficulties and so many waves in our mind to open up to a guru, we have so many ideas to speak to our guru, to speak to us, devotees, that I want to tell this, I want to tell that, I want to do this, I want to do that. We have so many things in our mind. But as soon as you go in front of a guru or in front of a pure devotee, then your mind becomes very peaceful. Just you stay very calm, because when you come inside, when you come in front of them, just pacifies your mind, like this water. So that's a qualification of a sadhu. Snigdha and Madhurya. Madhurya means very sweet. What is sweetness? Krishna says, Rasoham apsa gaunteya. I am the taste in water. So when you are thirsty, nothing can quench your thirst except water. In the similar way, in this material world, nothing can solve your material problem except devotee's mercy. Samsara dhava nalaya loka pranaya karunya ghana ganatvam. He says it's like a forest fire. For a forest fire, there is no any other way other than heavy rain. So in the similar way, in this material world, There is no any other solution for our problems except devotees' mercy. So devotees are very merciful. So that merciful should be very dharala, means he should be very generous to give his mercy to others, to receive the mercy. And also the water is like a tirtha bhuhu. Tirtha bhuhu means water not only cleans, it purifies also. Cleaning is different, purifying is different. Cleaning means we clean, different kinds of things like vegetables and other things. Purification means prokshana. Like we bring a flower, we don't soak, full flower garland in the water and then offer. No, we just do prokshana and it purifies. So in the similar way, it is not that we have to be with the sadhus all the time and up and down, right and left, like so deep. No, just few relationship or few moments with sadhus, it can purify us. Lavamatra sadhu sangha. So that should be the sadhu's qualification. He should have that kind of purity. Just by looking at him, just by hearing from him, the person's heart changes. So that's how the sadhu should be. That I have learned from water. And the last thing is fire. With this fire, I will stop this. So what is the quality of fire? And from fire, what I have learned? Tapasa dipto. Tapasa dipto means by tapasya, the sadhu is glowing. That is also one kind of quality for a sadhu. He should do many tapasyas, because the human life is meant for tapasya, and especially spiritual life means tapasya, means undergoing voluntarily taking up some kind of difficulties in the mood of advancement, in the mood of advancing in spiritual life. So sadhu should do tapasya. What is our tapasya? Following our guru's instruction perfectly. That is our tapasya. Nothing else. We don't have to do too many things. We don't have to search now shastras what kind of tapasya I should do for this chaturmasya, for this ekadasi, that ekadasi. No, we don't have to do that. If you start doing that, then dharma, then the procedures are too many. Then you will be missed. You will be missed in this forest. So dharmam tu nihitam guhayam mahajano yana gadastavantaha. So dharma is very nihitam guhayam, very secret. So how to do that? Nihitam guhayam mahajano yana gadastavantaha. Just follow the instruction of mahajanas. That is the safest position to get guided in this tapasya. So Prabhupada has given us lots of instruction what to follow, how to follow. If you do that, that is our tapasya. Just by tapasya, we start glowing. Our real swarupa starts glowing. So this attracts people also. So like that fire. And also he says, Sarva bhakshopi na datta malaha. What fire does? It just accepts everything. Whatever it is put, it just accepts and burns everything. So it just burns and throws away the ash. The similar way, what sadhu does, he just accepts, so many different kinds of offerings and so many different kinds of worships. And what he does, he just throws away the ashes and takes away the offered things. And the very important quality of a fire that I want to say, that we say Agni. What is Agni? Agre nayati iti agnihi. That which brings forward is called Agni. So what Agni does, whatever we offer, it just carries to the Devatas. So the Guru's position is like an Agni. The Guru's position is like an Agni. Here he says the Guru should be like an Agni. Why? Because Kvachit Channaha, Kvachit Spashtaha, Bhunte Upashana Shriyaha Ichatam. What Agni does, it is just accepting and delivering to the demigods. In the similar way, what Guru is doing, what is Guru's position? Guru's position is very, very dangerous or not desirable by a devotee actually. Why? Because Guru means he has to accept worship, he has to accept service, he has to accept self-glorification. And who will like to do that? Which devotee would like to hear his own glories? Nobody. Who will like to hear his own glories? Ravanasura or Hiranyakashipu. They want to hear their own glories. Oh, please glorify me, I want to hear. And they want to get worship It is their mentality. It is asuric mentality. But Guru is mercifully taking up that service. What service? He is accepting all kinds of worship from us. He is accepting all kinds of glorification from us. Why? To do this. Shreyaha ichatam. Bhunte upasanaha shreyaha ichatam. Just because to benefit the offerer or benefit the disciple, Guru is accepting this. Otherwise, Guru has no any desire to accept this kind of glorification or this kind of offerings from any kind of people. So Vaishnava Guru or a sadhu, he is accepting everything from his disciples, and what he does, he slowly gives this to Krishna. If he doesn't give, then he falls down. If he thinks this glorification is for me, this prize is for me, this offering is for me, then he goes away. But he just, what he's doing, his position is he has to just offer. So in the similar way, what Guru is doing, he's bringing and he's just offering. And also fire, it purifies. Dahan prayan putta ashubham. What fire does, it just purifies. All the dust beans are, burnt, and everything goes away and everything becomes clean. The similar way, what sadhu does, he just cleans our sinful activity, all our sinful reaction. He just cleans our sinful reaction. So this is what the fire is doing. And tatsat swarupaya agnihi iva edashi. He says, this is the last thing. So when you put a fire in an object, fire actually doesn't have a form, but in whatever form and in whatever object the fire is burning, it assumes that form and it is burning. So now looks like now fire is looking like a tree, and sometimes fire is looking like a tire, and sometimes fire is looking like a house. Sometimes fire is looking in a different color, but actually fire doesn't have all these forms. But when it gains some body, then it appears like it is having some form. In the similar way, this soul, it doesn't have any real form like what we are seeing now. The soul enters inside an elephant body, the soul enters inside a dog body, and immediately it assumes that yes, I am this elephant, I am this dog, I am this human. So we should come out of this. If the dog is thinking I am the dog, if the elephant is thinking I am the elephant, and if the man is thinking I am the man, then there is no any difference. So we should come out of this ignorance. That's what he's saying. So according to the object, it just takes its form. That's why Krishna says, Ascharyavat pashyati kaschitenam, Ascharyavat vadati tataiva chanyah, Ascharyavat chainam annashranoti, Shrutva pienam veda chaiva kaschit. Some people, they see the soul as very, very wonderful. They hear about the soul as wonderful. Some people, even after hearing, they don't understand about the soul. That's a mystery of the soul. So the soul, it is very tiny, but when it enters inside a small ant's body, it thinks I am the ant. When it enters the elephant body, it thinks I am the elephant, and it's sustaining the whole body. So in the similar way, as a human being, if we start thinking I am this human, then we are not better than an animal. So we should understand the soul, the real soul's nature or form is not this one. We have a different form, we have a different swarupa. That's what we understand from this. And I stop here, and we will continue this tomorrow. So we have finished only 5 Guru Tattva here, and we have 19 Guru Tattva. Let us see tomorrow if we can do something, and there is some question. Vishwa Kalyana Gauradas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can you hear me?
Yes.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhu, thank you so much for explaining about these subject matters of Uddhava Gita and getting into the first 5 gurus and of the conversation with the Yadu and the avadhuta brahmana. Prabhu, in the beginning of your conversation, you have very nicely touched upon a topic